From the CNET studios in San Francisco, California, and back from his Hawaiian vacation, Mr.
Yeah.
Brian Tom.
I like that intro. Aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
Aloha. You know how we do it here. Apple Byte Extra Crunchy episode. Let me check the number right now. 33.
Oh, my gosh.
Scottie Pippen. We're at Scottie Pippen level right now. We're at Larry Legend level right now. Number 33. Any other famous athletes that you'd like to drop on us with the 33?
I have no idea who else is number 33.
Those are the two that stick out in my mind right off the top. Welcome to the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy, the show where we expand upon the topics that we've talked about on the Apple Byte video podcast. This is our way to kind of talk about everything under the sun, new stories, new updates later in the week, but an extended version to involve you all. We always have phone calls here. Call us to be a part of this show. It's your show just as much as it is ours. 1-800-616-2638.
You got it.
Voice, I did?
That's the right number.
Good. Voice, good. If I said it wrong, I apologize. Voicemails around 30 seconds. Tell us who you are, where you're from. Get right to it. Comments, questions, and yes, we accept bad apples.
Oh, yes. We got a few good bad apples this week. Thank you.
All right, just to get things rolling, again, we do this live, so we show love to our Periscopers, we show love to our live streamers, we show love to our YouTubers. You can find us on SoundCloud. Tell your friends, tell your mom. We don't use foul language all the time here, so we're a family safe. We're family
Something
safe,
might slip out. Who knows?
Sometimes. But the first thing that we want to alert to you, this is kind of like our PSA of the day, and this is those of you who do watch the Apple Byte on Windows machines. You need to uninstall QuickTime for Windows ASAP. In fact, pause this podcast, go to your computer, and just uninstall it right now. The reason why we say this is Trend Micro published an article recently where they recommended this for two reasons. First of all, Apple will no longer be supporting any updates to QuickTime for Windows. Why is that important? Zero Day Initiative released two advisories, two vulnerabilities, critical ones inside of QuickTime for Windows, and because Apple is not going to update Windows QuickTime, these vulnerabilities will be left open. They're not publicly acknowledging what they are, how they work, obviously, but bottom line, don't use this software anymore if it's going to make you susceptible, because Apple is not going to fix it.
So if I launch a QuickTime video in my PC at home, someone can break into my laptop and steal all my personal data.
Correct. If you're wondering, oh no, honestly, you don't really need QuickTime as much anymore. You can get any type of video player. They have their own Windows media player. You can use VLC.
VLC's awesome.
VLC is pretty pimp.
Yes.
We love that. So just delete it. Let's not cause any trouble here. And that is our official PSA.
That's such a bummer because I have QuickTime Pro on my PC.
Yeah, you paid for that.
I paid for that.
Like $30, like 20 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah. But I still have the license and I still use it, you know?
There was a time where you had to pay to use QuickTime Pro, and I don't know if you remember this, but there was a time where there's this feature where you could this is before virtual reality or anything, where there was sometimes on sites you could rotate, like they would show off a product and you could rotate it in 360.
Yeah.
You needed QuickTime Pro.
Really?
To view those files because they were wrapped in like a QuickTime video wrapper, and you needed that to see them. I remember those days. QuickTime VR, I believe.
I'm gonna get home and delete my QuickTime and be sad about it. But.
Just letting you know, it is the end for QuickTime on Windows.
Okay.
All right, a lot of you guys and gals continue to kind of pound us and ask us about the MacBook. What is going on with the new MacBooks? WWDC is just around the corner. A new report from our friends at Digitimes have talked about, and a lot of rumors have been thrown around of how Apple is trying to make this an ultra-thin MacBook, even potentially thinner than the current MacBook with the USB-C connector inside of it, on it. A report now says that they are potentially looking at metal injection mold-made hinges. Now, this is a metalworking process used to create these small metal pieces, typically used for the internals of things like the iPhone and the Apple Watch, but they're looking to do this specifically for the hinges on this new rumored MacBook. I'm sorry, my brain. There's so many Mac this, Mac that.
I know.
Like how am I supposed? It's
McDonald's.
It's not a Mac Pro, Brian. It's a MacBook. I know this. Anyways, this hinge will allow it to be thinner, save space, and achieve this ultra-thin design, according to Digitimes. The new hinges will be supplied by Amphenol. This is a company that produces some of the thinnest sliding hinges right now. Also, these hinges are used on the Microsoft Surface Pro 4. If you know that kind of little back stand that is very low profile and slim.
Yeah.
They're reaching out to that same company to do this for their own MacBooks.
So the MacBook is just slowly evolving into a Surface
Uh-oh! Steven said it, not me. Not me.
Very slow evolution.
That could be a good thing for them. So keep your eyes out on that. But one thing that you've got to keep your eyes out on this, I think this laptop is hot. This is HP's latest Spectre, okay? The Spectre line. This is their 13.3-inch laptop, but it's using like this dark gray kind of metal and these copper and gold, like this kind of super luxurious detailing. This is now, to date, the thinnest laptop on planet Earth. It is 10.4 millimeters thin or thick, depending on how you want to say it. The current MacBook USB-C model is like 13.1 millimeters thick. So this is officially the world's thinnest laptop from HP. And like I said on the show, WWDC is coming around. Apple, you got to show me something. You've got to show me something at WWDC. Like, seriously. It doesn't even have to be thin. Just show me something, right? Do you agree, Steven?
Oh, yeah. They definitely have to. Something has to make us all excited, you know? We're all just bored right now.
I will get excited with the new MacBook if it looks good enough and it performs well enough and if it has some cool new features.
I'm against these thin laptops because they're sharp. They're actually like,
yes,
they're sharp. They're not comfortable to hold in your lap. Like I feel like I've almost cut myself on my MacBook Pro. It's just like metal and sharp edges. I'm not into it.
You know that they're going to change the design philosophies of MacBooks and these ultra thin laptops once someone loses a foot.
Yes, yeah.
Someone's going to lose a toe.
This laptop, this HP laptop, it could, there could be a bend gate happening here. It's
Don't make the MacBook Pro the MacBook Toe.
Please.
Like that would be very bad. But yeah, I think a guy, if I recall, you guys can look it up online. I think there was this Japanese guy who was like cutting different variety bits of produce.
Oh yeah.
With the MacBook Air, like way
totally,
long ago.
man.
I
Seriously.
remember it's like, how do you pull this stuff? Just look it up, like MacBook Air, and he was like lettuce. I think he did mushrooms. Clearly the dude had no time, like had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But that's something to kind of keep your eye out on. What is Apple going to do to respond? And then another quick thing about just Macs in general. Apple has issued out or published their new environmental report of how they are, keeping green, being a sustainable company. But in that report, they actually hinted to Mac OS 10 now being referred to as purely just Mac OS. So you have tvOS, you have watch OS, and in the text here, if you can see here, they refer to Mac OS for the first time as joined together, like one word with a MAC capital O capital S, but no OS 10. So I'm just MacOS.
So is this like a hint at they're marrying iOS and macOS together? Could this be like
iOS and
hint?
macOS?
Yeah.
iMacOS.
iMacOS.
iMacOS. It could be that could be they're trying to stick to convention with TiVos.
Yeah, there's tvOS right here.
Oh man, they don't want to. They should be careful. People are gonna start calling it TiVos, and they're gonna get in trouble. All right, iPhone news. There's always a new rumor there floating around. Everyone likes to kind of stir the pot. The latest iPhone 7 rumor comes to us from our friends at Mako Takara. They say that the renders and the images that we've seen of this dual camera lens and an actual image that was kind of a computer rendering as if it was taken from like a factory level from Capture Technology, showing off kind of the dimensions and a look at one of the versions of the iPhone 7. They're saying that these are legit pictures indeed, but they add some interesting information that no one has really talked about. There is space on this new iPhone for 2 new sensors, and they believe one of the sensors could be a smart connector. And why is that important? They believe that a smart connector on the bottom could accommodate a smart keyboard for the phone. Do you want a smart keyboard on your phone?
I don't know. I have to think about that one.
Wait,
for a
was
while.
that I don't know?
I don't.
Or I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's both. I don't know, man. That's a good question. Would I use my phone like with a keyboard connected to it? I don't think I will. I don't think I would.
So here's a cool thing, that a product that came out a couple of years ago, and it was actually, believe it or not, pushed by or founded by Ryan Seacrest and a couple of other cats. It was this keyboard that would slip onto your iPhone that was called the Typo.
Wasn't that like kind of BlackBerry? Like
Yes.
they were trying to be like BlackBerry?
And that was, so the great thing about you saying that is that the keyboard, the first version for the 6, got out on the market, and then the way the keys were specifically laid out pretty much exactly mocked the BlackBerry keyboard layout. And because of that, they were told to take it off the market. They came out with the Typos 2 that was a slimmer form factor, a better design. It even had backlit keyboards.
Oh, wow.
On the physical
That's cool.
keyboard, right? Really cool.
So what happened to them?
They had to take them off the shelves.
Oh, my God.
They had to pull them off the market. So that's why you don't see this Typo 2 case readily available. You might find it on Amazon and things. The disadvantage is that because it covers the home button, you can't use any of the Apple Pay feature, right? Because any Touch ID feature goes away. But there's still a lot of people that, although they've transitioned over to these touchscreen phones, that really miss their BlackBerry physical keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
I still miss the Sidekick. Dude,
I never used a Sidekick.
I mean, sure, you had to be cool.
I remember when it came out, though.
You had to be really
super
cool. You had
if
to
you're,
be
like,
really
sitting there
cool to
sidekicking.
use the Sidekick. Like, super cool.
Seriously. I had the pager. I was like, did. I'd be like, oh, sweet, okay. 143.
823, baby. 823. That is that thinking of you? Is 823 thinking of you?
I don't remember what that one was. 823. I don't know.
I
about
swear
that
it
one.
was. Can anyone
There's
verify
no
this for me?
143 was I love you.
143 was I love you.
8008 was boob.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
911 was like, call me right now. Call me. It's an emergency.
Man, this is important stuff. Like some people that are listening to us right
They're
now,
like,
they're like,
what the hell are
what's
they
a
talking
pager? what is a pager?
Motorola, baby. Look it up.
Someone says 123 is I miss you. Is that true? I don't know.
Maybe.
On Periscope, they're like throwing out numbers and everything. All right. Also, just in iPhone news, Apple has reached a $2.6 billion agreement for Samsung. Yes, their Korean friends, to supply OLED panels starting in 2017.
Wow.
This is
$2.6 billion with a B.
$1 billion. Now, here's an interesting tidbit from this. This comes from the Korean Herald. There were rumblings that Apple was going to eventually transition to OLEDs in 2018 or 19. Then it started getting pushed up to 2017. Under this deal, this is according to the article, Samsung Display will supply around 100 million units of 5.5-inch panels annually. So they're not talking about any screen size smaller or larger. This is specific to the 5.5-inch, which would be the iPhone Plus of whenever this comes out.
The big iPhone that I'm not going to buy because it's too big.
The iPhone 7, right? Most likely in 2017. I think, though, that if they do come out with the iPhone 7S, it's pretty obvious that the S is going to now stand for Samsung. Like, you can finally call it the iPhone 7 Samsung. Just letting y'all know. So that is a deal that has been in place. It has been signed. Samsung Display declined to comment on this because of its it's a private dealing in the back that the Korean Herald was able to pull out from their sources. But Samsung will be now supplying OLED displays, which does make sense for Apple. Some people always say, why are Samsung and Apple working together on this? Well, they're both making a lot of money.
Yes. And Samsung makes, or Apple makes a couple bucks every time they sell a Samsung phone, right?
That is true.
Yes.
And what it does, again, this is all about margins. Samsung would actually lose money by saying, no, we want to be the only people with an OLED display.
True.
They actually make more money by doing this. So this is smart from Samsung.
Yeah.
Very cool. No word yet on if these displays will be any larger sizes for, a la iPad or anything like that, but we will see. Another cool story coming out. Apple has found $40 million in gold.
Please explain this to me. I'm not understanding this.
From used phones and computers last year. So at the most recent keynote, Apple showed their their robot that disassembles iPhones. I think it was called Liam.
Yes.
I don't know if you
That's right,
you saw,
Liam,
right?
yeah.
And they're salvaging the parts and saving them. So from this disassembly and then sorting and recollecting these elements, they said they've recovered over 61 million pounds of steel, aluminum, glass, and other materials. Part of that was 2,204 pounds of gold, well over a ton of gold. And there are small parts in the components of iPhones that are gold. And no, the actual gold iPhone is not made of gold. Like, no.
It's just a color.
But the current spot price is around a little over $1,200 per troy ounce of gold. Therefore, do the math. Apple recovered just under $40 million in gold from old phones and computers.
And they're just going to put it in the bank and let it sit there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of
money,
I never
man.
thought about. Of course, phones are valuable, and of course, they're not all gonna end up in landfill, which we don't want. But man, that's a big chunk of change to be able to recover
Hell yeah.
just from your recycling program. That's impressive. So that was revealed in part of their I believe their environmental report as well. Just a quick follow up because we haven't been on the show for a couple weeks. We showed you or talked about this cool trick of how you can enable night shift mode and low power mode at the same time. While I was on vacation, Apple released a iOS 9.3.1 update. People started tweeting me like, it doesn't work. Well, when I'm on vacation, I do not respond. I was like, I want to be like, oh, I'm on vacation. They're like, nice tip, Tong. Like stupid stuff like that, right? Well, there is a workaround now where you, in 9.3.1, where, again, turn your phone in low power mode. Again, tell Siri, turn on night shift. And right before it does it, you have to hit the sleep button or the power button on the side. And if you time it properly and then turn your phone back on, low power mode and night shift mode will show up together at the same time. So the screen will change color, and that is your indicator that night shift mode was turned on while low power mode was on.
They need to fix this even better because it still is like a pain in the ass, man.
Dude. Well,
like my wife goes to bed before me. Sometimes I'll climb into bed afterwards, late. It's dark.
yeah.
I don't want to say, "Hey Siri, turn on my night shift," because then you don't know if Siri's volume is like she's gonna say, "Okay, I'll do that," like super loud and wake up my wife.
No, Steven, I will not make out with you.
No, your wife is asleep, Steven. But yeah, so I haven't been doing that. I have to hit 5 buttons. I have to go into settings, turn off low power mode, then turn on night shift. So yeah. Your
sorry.
workaround helped. It helps me if I'm like by myself,
Yes.
but not when I'm with my significant other.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, Steven. I'm sorry that this tip, this workaround that is unofficial didn't meet your needs.
And then there's something we have to time it. What was this about
So
timing
it's like
it properly?
you have to watch the video on 9 to 5 Mac, but after you say turn on night shift, you hit the sleep button like a split second after you say that. And then you hear it go boop boop, like as if Siri's turning off. And then when you
Funny.
turn on your screen, it'll be like brown tint.
Okay.
Just trust me on this one.
All right.
I really didn't want to explain this, but now I realize, I have to explain this.
This is a real problem, man. This is a real world problem we're dealing
Dude,
with.
this is hard stuff. We just want to kind of hit up some quick updates just overall about the latest Apple and FBI case. Surprisingly, I remember on this show, we outright said, most likely, there probably isn't anything that important within that gap of hours of time that they were trying to get on that phone that they could not have been able to get from other sources, whether it was email, phone records. According to CBS News, nothing significant was found on the San Bernardino iPhone as of yet.
But it's very significant because the FBI is just unlocking everyone's phone now. They're just like, hey, you want your phone unlocked? You want your phone out? Hey, call us. Hey, holler.
Holler at a player. It was stressed in the report that the FBI continues to analyze the information, season the investigation, but nothing of importance has been found up to date.
All right.
So then you're like, okay, well, how does this affect other things? They were trying to figure out who actually hacked this. There was there was chatter that Israeli group Celebrite was behind the iPhone hack. This was on an iPhone C. The report said, how they got into the iPhone C. Even the FBI didn't really know because the group that helped them had found a vulnerability that is not published out there. They were able to get access to the iPhone 5C. So according to the FBI, even they don't know how that company was able to get into the phone, but ultimately they did and turned it over and provided the information that has up to this point been of no importance.
I'm pretty. That's surprising to me because you think like the FBI would be like, we need to know how to do this, and like I thought that they actually purchased the software or whatever process it was from the company.
That's what was believed to be the case.
That wasn't true.
But they said that they do work with Celebrite in other, encryption security issues in the past to help them with other devices. So that it was like a $15,000 bill was related to that. At least this is what they are saying, and not to them directly helping them with this specific iPhone 5C. So as that is played out, there are still other cases where the FBI is still now requesting that Apple help them still unlock other phones. There's like a drug case that is going on in New York that we referenced about a month ago. But this battle is still not over because next week, Apple and FBI are set to clash one more time in Congress over, dun, 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 encryption. So they're going to both testify before lawmakers to talk about how much encryption, what level of encryption should be allowed. It was also sparked earlier this week. There were two U.S. senators that released draft legislation that would empower the courts to tell tech companies to hand over data in what they call an intelligible format so that they can see it, right? And basically, in layman's terms, get us the information, show us exactly what we need to know. We don't want to see it in ones and zeros.
Yes, please.
Even if the encryption has rendered that the data is inaccessible to anyone other than the owner. They are trying to put down legislation that would weaken encryption enough so that they can get access to it. But again, the larger scope of this is that weaker encryption makes us all more vulnerable in general.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a race now to encrypt everything. Like Facebook just announced we're encrypting WhatsApp and all of our stuff. So yeah, there's a big encryption race, which is, I think I just coined that phrase. We don't know.
The great encryption rate, the great. Yeah, we'll have to come up with some cool, clever saying. Like FBI OS was kind of cool. I like that one.
That is good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Increase. I'm not gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start saying weird things. So that's the latest. That's just kind of going around surrounding the world of just Apple versus FBI. This stuff is anything but far from over.
No.
So we'll see how that all shakes out. Hey, I've got something in my hand.
Ah, okay. Let me get something playing over here.
In your hand.
Yes.
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's time for ad time. To keep this show alive, just like y'all do. Do you love books but find that you never have time to read them? I do. Well, Audible.com has the perfect solution. Get audiobooks and listen to those books you've been meaning to read while on the go. At the gym. See these guns? That's what I do. During your commute, Audible.com provides over 180,000 titles from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine, and newspaper publishers, and business information providers.
Their app is free and works on iPhones, iPad, Android, and Windows Phone. You can also download and listen on your Kindle Fire and over 500 MP3 players. And unlike a streaming or rental service with Audible, you own your books, so you can access your books anytime and anywhere right from your smartphone.
Audible.com has the great listen guarantee. If you decide you don't like the book you choose, no worries. You can exchange any book you aren't happy with for another title anytime, no questions asked.
That's awesome.
So check this out. I haven't done it recently, but I do remember back in the day, as they say, using Audible for a little bit of Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone action.
Ooh, Stephen King.
It sounded good. It sounded nice. It was fun.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So we have used this before. I will admit I haven't used it as of recent, but it's a great resource, especially if you're commuting. I used to commute on the Caltrains 2 hours.
Car rides,
door to door.
long car rides. And just for listeners, Audible.com is offering a free 30-day trial membership. So go to audible.com/Apple today to start your free trial. Again, show your support for the Apple Byte Extra Crunchy and get a 30-day free trial at audible.com/Apple.
Audible.com/Apple, everybody, okay?
Yes.
Although, for the record, it should be Apple Byte.
Yes.
Right? I mean, we are the ones reading this ad.
They
wanted to tighten it up. Okay,
it's a sexier. Yeah, it's a little sexier.
Whatever. I'm gonna make up my own code, and if it doesn't work, oh well.
Yes.
But anyways, audible.com/Apple. Okay, let's jump right back into the show. Apple Watch fans, how many of you are out there,
Raise your
Apple.
hands.
Oh wait, shoot, sorry, I don't wear mine anymore. Sorry, I forgot about it. I didn't know. Of course, I don't wear it anymore. Apple Watch fan survey says if you love the Apple Watch, you are not alone. The most popular smartwatch is the Apple Watch among teens.
Wow.
So a Piper Jaffray survey polled around 6,500 teens. The average age of them was 16 and a half. Not everyone has a smartwatch, first of all. 12% of those teens actually own a smartwatch. But of those 12% of teens, 71% of them had Apple Watches.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Those are all the rich kids.
Yes.
Just 10% of teens say they're interested in purchasing a smartwatch. That number has only grown since the fall of 2005 by 2%. So in general, teens overall aren't super interested in getting a smartwatch. And I know the reason. I said it on my show. It's because mommy and daddy are the ones paying for a smartwatch.
Yes.
Even though Apple dropped it $100, doesn't make a difference. It's like, yeah, I still can't afford that. Mom, dad, 10% of people have rich parents? Okay, cool. You got an Apple Watch.
Mom, Dad, I need to mow the lawn for like 3 years to get this Apple Watch. Come on.
Can I get an Apple Watch in 3 years? Yeah.
It'll be better by then.
Well, in 3 years, you might actually get an actual all-new designed Apple Watch. But according to Ming-Chi Kuo of KGI Securities, he expects that Apple's kind of life cycle for the Apple Watch won't be every year a brand new watch because of just the way the market is. He predicts the next one will kind of have the same upgrade cycle as the iPhone. Think of it as the Apple Watch S.
Ah.
It'll have internal under-the-hood spec improvements, possibly some minor form factor changes, but he reports that fans will have to wait until 2017 to see a really, truly redesigned Apple Watch.
It's a long ways away.
That hurts, Daddy.
That hurts.
I think that I did remember saying long ago that I felt that the Apple Watch is kind of more on should be on more of a 1.5 to 2 year life cycle, just because of how it's a fashion piece. It's like, do you really need the latest tech in your watch? No, it's really just a glorified notifications bracelet. Its fitness features aren't nearly as good as other fitness dedicated bands. I just know this for a fact, just based on accuracy and using them on certain hikes and blah, blah, blah. So they just need to make the product do something great, and it hasn't found that yet.
Yeah.
It's really a beautiful watch, but it's a beautiful notifications watch.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, I think we mentioned that there was talk of they're putting GPS in it, right? And LTE.
Yeah, I wish.
And FaceTime.
Yeah,
So
I wish.
That would be, they need to do that.
I don't think they would do all
sure.
of them at once,
Yeah.
but maybe let's do some baby steps. Get a Wi-Fi chip in there so it doesn't have to be dependent on your phone when you're near Wi-Fi. And battery life will probably be the same just because. But I really feel like for them to sell this watch, if it somehow, some way had FaceTime off the bat, even though it's not a feature you would always use, just the fact that you have the first watch that you could video conference with a friend makes it cool.
Well, that would be the first Apple Watch, not the first watch.
Okay, are you talking about the Dick Tracy watch? Are you telling me?
Doesn't the Google Watch has? I don't know what watch model it is, but they have a watch where you could do that. You can
Where I
conference
can
people
video
and
conference someone on?
I think
like,
so.
Literally? Are you sure?
Someone in the chat room help me, please.
Did I fall off the planet in Hawaii? Like, did the sun get to my skull?
I think it exists. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Honestly, I hope it exists. But again, I'm not hating on the Apple Watch. I am just speaking from my experience. I know there's a lot of people that love the Apple Watch and get mad when I talk about the Apple Watch. But I do love how it looks. I just want it to do more for me. And I'll say that every time we talk about an Apple Watch. I always have to defend it because people get so mad and frustrated about it. But
Yeah.
it's nice. If you like the notifications, it's all right. Okay, this next story, though, is not all right with me. This physically made me cry. The 9.7 iPad Pro has finally been put through the test by DisplayMate. They always publish these great in-depth reports of the performance of these displays, of these tablets, and I can tell you that they said not only is the iPad Pro 9.7 inch the best iPad screen they've tested. It is the best performing and a record-setting performer amongst all tablets they have ever tested. All tablets. Okay, let me tell you the categories it set records for. Highest absolute color accuracy for any display for both color gamuts. Lowest screen reflectance for any mobile display. Highest peak brightness in a full-size tablet for any picture level. Highest contrast rating in high ambient light. Smallest color variation with a viewing angle. All better than my iPad Pro 12.9 inch from 4 months ago.
Ah! I'm sorry. You're going to cry? I see a tear.
I cried a lot on the show already. It was... Anyways, I want to give them props for making a great display 4 months after I bought my freaking iPad Pro.
Hey, by the way, the chat room came to my my
defense.
They are saving me. Yeah, the Galaxy Gear has a camera, as does the Gear 2.
Okay. A camera, but not a
man.
but not a video conference. Okay.
You can't conference on that?
No, you can take
You
pictures.
can't hang out? You can do a hangout.
No, you can take pictures. Tell them, I know that it has camera. Like, the first Galaxy Gear had this sneaky camera. Okay, dude. Yo, Beach. The camera was right here, like, on the wrist, not on the top. So you could do,
that's
like
so
under
pervy.
the... Yeah, it was the pervy camera.
That's the perv camera.
Okay, it's the perv cam. I don't want a perv cam. I want a FaceTime cam. Maybe... I'll keep on talking, but maybe they can, follow me up. But I'm pretty sure they did not have video conferencing on it, but they did have a camera. They are right. We're meeting in the middle right now. Okay,
they're helping me out. Thanks, chat room.
Okay.
Fletchman99 and some it looks like Japanese writing for the name, so I can't.
Some
tell who that
Asian
is. Some
calligraphy.
characters, yeah.
Some characters. Also, the Apple TV. This is kind of cool. They have started promoting when you first launch the new Apple TV, a live tune-in feature. Why is this cool? So there are certain apps that you can basically launch and load just by saying, "Hey Siri, watch ESPN Live. Hey Siri, watch CBS. Hey Siri, hi." So like watch Disney XD.
CBS.
Yeah. So that is built into it. I think that kind of makes it a little more convenient, so that when you're watching them, you can just jump into another app.
That's cool.
It's kind of cool. They're starting to get to maybe voice recognition to. Let's say when they announce this TV service that they really need to do, and you can start saying, watch the channel name, that will be cool.
Yes.
You can do that already with the Comcast Xfinity remote. It takes a little time to load, but it does work.
Yes.
Like, it actually works. Like, say, watch ESPN, watch Cooked Food Network, stuff like that.
That's cool.
So, it does do that. You know what? I think that the show's been good, but we need to get to some phone calls, man.
Yeah, let's do some phone calls.
I just wanted to skip some stories because I'm like, look, we got to get to the people.
There's really one story left, and it's not the best. Okay, let's have a listen. I want to make sure everyone on Periscope can hear.
Everyone on Periscope can hear. They always complain about that. We got
right,
them.
Here we go.
Hey, Brian Tong, Beachum. Hey, I got a question. My question is, now I'm a huge Apple fanboy, whatever you want to call it, but we all know the hardware isn't really making that many advancements, the past couple updates or whatever. But my question is, I want to put the iOS software on the Samsung S7. Is there any way I can do that? All right, holla back.
Holla back. All right. I will tell you, my friend, as of now, I don't see anything related specifically to the Galaxy S7 that you can put iOS on it. In the past, we're talking about more like around like Android 4, Android 5. There was a way to load iOS on them with no guarantees that would work that great, but I haven't seen anything on the Galaxy S7 yet. I could be wrong. People that are watching the show, if you know or have seen anything, let us know. I know there's this great resource called Google that might be able to help you. Mm-hmm. But I haven't heard or seen anything of that yet. And also the S7 just came out too, so
yeah, so it's gonna have some time to hack it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I don't even know if you can root it and actually load it. Most likely not, but it might be out there.
Yeah, we also got another call from a fan who was asking if you can put OS X on a PC, and yeah, you've been able to do that for a long time. So I just want to let him know that you could do that. And I've seen it. It looks weird. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It looks weird when you have Windows on a Mac too. It looks strange. It looks funny.
And
Okay.
disclaimer, there are no guarantees that everything will work properly, so
Yeah.
don't blame us.
It's gonna be buggy. For
Don't
sure.
blame us. Yeah.
Okay, next call.
Hey, Brian. I am looking to get a Mac Mini, and I was wondering whether I should wait to see what WWDC in June has to offer, or whether I could go ahead pretty safely and buy one now. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
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 Your money, the best bet, just wait for WWDC. We never know exactly what's going to happen. We know that it's probably going to feature the MacBooks, prominently, but there might be some other things that come out. So just wait it out. You've got about, a month and a half now, so it'll be worth it. And if
Cool.
they don't, then go right ahead and get your Mac Mini on.
Yeah, and get it refurbed, please.
That's true.
I always say that. Okay, next call.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Beecham. It's Kai Wen from Columbia, Maryland. And my question is, I love Apple. So what can they do to turn this horrible fate around? I feel like they're seeking bad. All right. Love the show. Talk to you later. Bye.
This is a great question. What can Apple do to turn things around? Because he says they are stinking bad.
Yes.
I think that it comes down to Apple is a different company today. I've said this multiple times, but what can they do to turn it around? Come up with something amazing that we haven't seen before, that we didn't expect. This is a great example. The Amazon Echo, a product that came out of nowhere. They put it out. I know specifically talking to my friends at Amazon, they decided to put it out on the market and to see if people would respond to it. They did not expect it to be a success. Now you see developers jumping on board, and the Amazon Echo is like really the first kind of, I call like the gateway drug to getting people comfortable with the idea of voice assistant automation, which down the road will lead us to being more comfortable with just home automation, talking to your house, basically.
Yeah, totally.
It's a great product. It's non-intrusive.
It looks
it's really cool.
too.
It looks cool.
It looks fun. It tells jokes.
And when you think of historically, if you look at what Apple has done in the past, yes, they have kind of taken a category and completely elevated it and given it Apple's polish and flavor and style and ease of use. We aren't even seeing that anymore, right? We are just seeing iterations of current products and nothing that has captured our imagination at all. Even the iPad, people were poo-pooing the iPad when it first came out. And then all of a sudden people started to get it. And then everyone's like, the iPad is awesome. Now, today's a different story because the market has changed. But will Apple be able to do it with their Apple Car? We pose the question, remains to be seen. Will Apple be able to do it with their entry into virtual reality and augmented reality? I really don't know. They just seem light years behind of what I've physically seen and used from HTC and Oculus, which is amazing and ripe with so much potential.
Yeah. The Vive. The Vive is the coolest one.
Yeah, the Vive,
According
the
to
Vive,
everyone
the
in
Vive,
the
the
office.
Vive.
Yeah.
But I will okay, how about this? For the record, the Vive is the coolest one right now, but once Oculus's touch controls come out to the public, the demos that I have played and used on the Oculus Rift with those touch wrist controllers, mind-blowing.
Really?
Mind-blowing.
I gotta try it.
We can talk about it in depth on another episode because we don't have time of that experience. But that's what Apple needs to do.
Yeah, like getting back to the Echo, like Apple could easily build something like that just sits in your house. That Siri has Siri's voice and you talk to, and it'll do all the things Echo does. I mean, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So
I'll tell you what
cool.
I'll tell you what the problem. Sorry about that for cutting you a little
No,
short.
I was done.
The problem, I know you were, but I still talked over you, and I apologize. I think the other thing that you guys have to think about is that Apple they only have so many people, manpower, and clearly Apple diverted a ton of resources towards the Apple Watch. It was a reported thing. It was a known thing. When you prioritize a product, which is fine, that is what they felt was their baby, and guess what? It is the top-selling smartwatch, but still fitness bands are outselling the Apple Watch. And that is where you put all your eggs in that basket, and then it's kind of like, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's all right. You take away attention from other potential products or other categories, and you've seen how that has affected the company overall. So it's up to Apple to do it. We don't have the solution. We can kind of at least ponder what they might do, but they just haven't been able to show us anything that has really made us go wow. And even if they make an amazing laptop, I don't know if making an amazing laptop is going to change anything, just because it's a laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
We've seen that before.
It's a laptop. So we will see. We will see. As they say, time will tell.
All right, we got a couple more calls. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Hey, Brian. In regards to your Mac always locking up and having to type in your password, you can use an app called Mac ID. Kind of hard to explain, but it pretty much tethers your phone or any iOS device to your Mac in order to unlock it. You can even set it to unlock proximity or with your fingerprint, which is pretty much the only way you can unlock it. Check it out whenever you get a chance. It's called Mac ID. It's I think it's like $3 or something like that on the App Store, but it's pretty handy. Check it out when you get a chance.
Love it. I have heard of it, but I've never actually tried it. But I'll give it a look. But yeah, thanks for that. That's the type of calls and stuff that we love. Just you guys using your knowledge and just educating us and everyone else that's listening.
Yes, thank you. All right, got one more call, and it's Tab.
One more call.
Tab from Toronto.
Hey guys, it's Fab calling from Toronto. Love the show. I need Brian to throw out a bad apple for me. I have the 16 gig iPhone, and I have very limited space, so I've been trying to delete all my mail messages, and I deleted all of them one by one, and there's still 500 meg of space left behind. So if you have a workaround, please let me know. Thanks.
Oh,
Yes.
was it Fab or Tab?
I think it's Fab, actually.
Was
I'm
it Fab?
sorry. Yeah, Fab.
See, Fab, that's a bad apple.
Fab Fried Freddy. Okay, wait, hang on. Let me get him a bad apple. Proper.
This is always like, hold on. Let me
It's
pull
playing
this
an ad.
up.
Hang on.
Hold up. Waiting for it, Fab. Just wait for it. Just wait a little bit longer.
We got 8 seconds here.
Wait a little bit for
No,
it.
it's okay. We don't have to do the
Okay.
bad apple.
So, just a tip, even if you deleted all your emails, Steven, why don't you throw out your tip, and then I'll just kind of piggyback
Yeah, so
on
I
that.
had the same problem. I had a 32 gig iPhone, and it had a lot of storage issues. So if you go into general, and then if you go down to
Give them time to go to their phone right now. Go to
I'm
general.
sorry. Don't go to general.
Oh,
go
don't
to
go
settings.
to general. Okay, go to settings.
Go to messages.
Yes.
Scroll down. You will find, where is it? I had it earlier today. Okay. Message history. All right. You want to go in there. It's probably set to forever. You don't want it to be forever because it's saving all your message history forever. You want to set it to 30 days. So it's going to delete every message prior to 30 days. And you're going to free up a ton of space on your phone. I did that. I think I got like 5 gigs back or something.
Yeah, if you're sending, like, if you have a significant other or like family, friends that you always like exchange videos and photos and stuff all the time, I just honestly delete the entire chat, and then I've had a couple gigs just free up from there. Clearly I sent large files, if you know what I mean. So in regards to that, just take that advice to heart.
All right, we're going to end the show on that
Let's
note.
get out of here. Let's get out of here, Beecham. All right, ladies and gals, guys and gentlemen, women, children, 1-800-616.
I got that bad apple for you.
That is a bad apple for me.
That's for you, yeah.
That's for me. 1-800-616-2638. That's where you guys can leave us your name, where you're from, and your call. We're going to be out of here. We will be here next week with a little bit of more extra crunchy, keeping it munchy. Thanks so much for watching. And we're just going to let the people scream in the background. I'm Brian Tong. He's Stephen Beecham. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. Wow.
That was an accident.
That's funny.